Hi everyone, I thought it would be rather fun to do the images on this page here. This is Hanna Karlzon's book, Seasons, and these are the sort of springtime images. So we have flowers and sort of some slightly snowy ones, which I think is rather fun, and then a daffodil and an Easter egg. I'm not going to do them in order. That's because some of them lead us into Easter, these two particularly, and I think we'll leave those a bit later to the end when we're getting closer to Easter. It won't be at Easter, I don't think. I'm trying to work out the timings, but I'm deciding I want to start with this one. I know it's a bit odd, it's right at the bottom, but it's just what I fancy doing today. So I'm going to come in. I hope the light is okay in here. The sun's coming in, but it's on the wall rather than on the desk, so I'm hoping it's okay. The book wants to keep closing itself. I think we're okay there. Now we've obviously got gemstones here. I've got my Polychromos out because I find them much better for gemstones, because they seem slightly more transparenty, which works for me in my head with what gemstones look like. We're going to do these in different colours. I'm actually copying this page, this picture here, here. Mine's not going to look exactly like that, but this is from Helen Elliston's Colorist special effects book, and she's got some fabulous gemstone-y art in her book. Now she talks about to think about where the light's coming from to start with, and I'm sort of thinking, you know, which faces are going to be darker. I sort of think these ones underneath will be darker as well, but the light is the light coming straight down probably. So I've got here a delft blue, and I'm going to do a sort of bluey purpley gemstone first. I'm going to do this one here, and I'm going to use this on the bottom. And what I'm going to do is make it really quite dark down here and then just fade it up. Now you could use a slightly lighter one as you come up towards the top. I'm just going to try and fade this one up like that. And then you want a similar colour for the other sides. I'm going to use, we've got a blue violet, so I'm going to use that. It's slightly lighter. Sun's in my eyes, I hope you can see. Now I'm thinking this side as the lightest, so we'll put it on here. Again, starting dark at the bottom and going lighter as we go up towards the top like that. And you can see it's a slightly lighter one, and this one we're going to do a bit lighter still. Haven't got another blue violet. I think I'm going to use this one. This is number 138, which is violet. Okay, and I'm going to use this on this side, as I said. So I'm thinking this is the lighter side, but I'm still going light to dark. Dark to light, sorry, like that. Now on these top faces, I'm thinking these are going to be very, very pale. So this palest face here, I'm only just going to do the smallest touch like that. Okay, and then I'm going to grab the blue violet, whoops, that I used for this one, and do a light bit here and just fade it up. And then the delft blue for this bottom one, and do the same thing. Okay, now what I am going to do is I want a white, and I want to make the top surfaces look quite white, but if I do that with a Poly's white, they're not brilliant. I'm going to use a better white. What have I got here? I've got, nope, that's not white. I've got a Caran white here I'm going to use instead. Okay, and I'm going to use that on these top ones just to make them look a bit paler. like that. You can almost spread the colour around with the white. Okay, now the next tip we get is to put a few darker bits on each of the sides. So I'm starting with my mid shade, which is the blue violet. I'm putting a few darker bits on here, and we just get advised to do a few sort of squiggles like this at the bottom, and then I'm going to use the Delft blue to do some on the centre one like that. And then I need a darker colour for this face, and I'm going to use the dark indigo, okay, for doing a few bits here like that. Then we get advised to erase a few bits to make it look paler with like a Tombow eraser like this. This isn't particularly dark, so I don't know if it's gonna really make that much difference. Okay, then we use some white pen, the final bit, which is the fun bit, to get our Posca. And what we do is, what Helen advises is to take out the top half of the black lines but don't erase them completely, because we've got a white background here. If we erase the whole of the outside and these bits are quite pale, we won't see anything much. So we do that, and then we also add a few squiggles and dots of white. Dots are quite good, squiggles down at the bottom, just to make it look more shiny, and then you can do a few lines like this to add some texture as well, and reflections. We can do a few reflection ones at the bottom as well. There we go. So that's our first one, and we're going to do our others as well with different colours. So it's going to take a little while, but it's rather fun. So I'm going to do a red violet on this centre one here. So again, starting quite dark and then fading up like that, and then the same here on this face, that colour. Then I want a slightly lighter version, and I'm thinking the middle purple pink is quite a good one for this side, although it's a little bit, it's a bit pink, but I think it'll work. What I'm going to do this time is do all the pencil work on all of the pieces, and then come in and do the pen work and other bits after. So with our red violet, we're going to put in some darker patches on here like that, and to get our darker patches on there, we're going to use we'll use the dark sepia. I think we need something really dark on here. There we go. On this one we do it greens. I think our darkest green, oops, is our deep cobalt green. I've got my pencil tin bits in a different order to what I'm used to. I'm just trying to work out which side would be the darkest, and I'm struggling to find them like that. And then our next darkest, I think, will be a dark phthalo green. I'm thinking this might be the lightest side. I'm not sure. I'm really unsure. I'm going to put this one here. Just fade it up. This step is quite easy really. If you find it hard to fade, just gently layer. I'll show you on the next one. I know it sounds easy. So here's, actually I'm going to use the light phthalo green for for the last one. So what you do is you do your the lightest colouring you can do over the whole thing. Then you go a bit harder just over that bit, and from here upwards, and then again and again. So you've got several layers. Now we need to grab our dark phthalo green to put some darker areas on here. Our deep cobalt green to do some darker areas on here. And we'll use the dark sepia again, I think, on the very darkest side to put some darker bits on here. Blue. We might start repeating some colours now because we're getting, you know, we're getting quite far through. I'm going to use the turquoise, but I'm just going to sharpen it. This is the blueish turquoise, and we're going to do it for this one. See, I'm thinking we've put all our lightest sides on this side as if the light's coming that way, but this one, this bit is lower, so I think it might be dark, but I don't know. I'm going to use my darkest one here and then fade it up. And the same here, fade. And I'm going to do one of these down here in this colour too. And the whole thing, because it's only little. I'm sort of making it lighter towards that bit there, as if that's the top, you know. And then I need a slightly lighter turquoisey colour. Where's what I'm looking for? There. Maybe this one, the cobalt green. Might be too greeny actually. I don't think I do want that. After sharpening it, let's use the cobalt turquoise. I think that'll be better. It's not such a big jump in colour. So here's our cobalt turquoise. Okay, let's start. Oops, snap off the end. I was being far too heavy-handed. And then we'll get some of the bluish turquoise to put some dark patches on here, and our dark sepia to put some patches on this side. I think I'll put a few on here too. There we go. Okay, I'm going to actually do a green, this one. This is the light phthalo green. Okay. And the dark phthalo green, just put a few darker areas on it, like that. Next, I'm going to grab the pink, the middle purple pink for this one, I think. I'm just going to fade it up this side and across this one. It's rather fun, this. It's going to take a while, but I think that's fine. And then the red violet for some darker bits here and there. Okay, oops, now a new colour. What should we use? What haven't we? We haven't really used a red, have we? Let's grab a red. This is middle cadmium red. It's quite a dark red. I'm going to use it here, I think. Then lighten towards there. Now this piece is I think I'll do it with this colour and really fade it up there. Like that. And I'm going to do, no, I'm going to use my slightly lighter red, which is going to be this one. No. This one, which is quite small. I'm just going to look at the colour while I sharpen it. 223. It is, I can't find it. 223. Oh, deep red. And I'm going to do that here. And fade. And then do it over here for this one. And again, I'm thinking that central point might be the highest, so I'm fading them up towards there. And then I'm going to grab the darker red, which is the middle cadmium red, excuse me, and do some darker bits on this one. Just a couple. Just a couple on this one. It's going to be quite hard to see. The colours aren't that different to each other, to be fair. And our last two bits we'll do in the same colour. I'm thinking like a sort of ambery orangey colour maybe, but I'm thinking, oh, I know what I haven't done. I haven't done any dark sepia on that red on that side. Maybe I should do it on those too. There we go. So I'm going to use a burnt sienna for one bit, for this bottom bit. I don't know if this is really going to look right. I hope so. And fade it up, and then one up there, and then a sort of sanguine, I'm thinking. It's just a bit of an experiment. If you don't like it, choose a different colour. Excuse me, I could have done it more orangey, but as I said, I was thinking sort of amber. And up there and fade. Up there and fade. And then this one, I'm thinking this one's quite low, it's going to be dark. This one might get lighter towards the top, same as this one. Let this be quite a light face, like that. Then grab my burnt sienna, do some darker patches on here, and use the dark sepia to do the dark patches on the burnt sienna. Okay, now we're going to use our white. Remember how we used our white on the top? We're going to do that again. So this is the white Luminance. You don't have to use a Luminance pencil, but I would use, you could use a Prisma, or you could even use a blending, something to blend it, but I think the white just somehow helps. And if you don't have a white pen, you can put the white goes, as you can see here, look, the white covers those lines quite well. I think I'm going to leave it at that. Now our white, I think that's the next stage. Yeah. So I'm going to start on this side and move across, because so I try not to smudge it. So here I'm going to put white down each of these and a few dots here and there. Quite difficult with these little ones. You know what we haven't done is erased any areas. I didn't know how well it showed up, but I think we should have a go. So here's the mono 0 again. I think it would show up more on a bigger area. There we go. I shall leave it there. Okay. So we've got this one. So basically try and erase most of the line until you get to about halfway down the gemstone, and then then leave the black in. Now I'm trying to put some shine direction lines parallel with the ones on here. I messed up on that one because I think it would sort of show up all in the sun's just gone in, or it would sort of show up all in the same direction. Ready? Let's put some blocks of white here and there. This one, and a few dots at the top, and then some shine lines like that. I want to just cover that a little bit more. There we go. Now we're down here, we've done that one a little bit. It's quite fun, I find. It takes a bit of time, but it's worth it, I think. Now I usually don't quite go to this much effort when I'm doing gemstones. Maybe I should. So let's just put some sort of reflection lines on. And this one, they're quite small and fiddly as well, these. It'd be easier on one that was a bit bigger, but that's okay. And our last one. There we go. Yeah, that's quite fun. I mean, they're not as good as Helen's, but I think they still look pretty shiny. She also suggests you could do some white glints, you know, like a sort of I'll show you with my pencil, a line down and down and across with a little gap in the middle. Sometimes I do things like that, but not normally on gemstones. It's quite, I find it doesn't always quite look quite right, so I can't always perfect it very well. I'm just going to take that line out a bit more. There we go. Yeah, so there are our multicoloured gemstones. That's our first one from this page. Some of the others will be a lot quicker. But they won't all be that quick. We've got another gemstone to do as well, right at the top of the page, and yeah, some of them might take a little while, but I think it's rather fun. So I hope that was okay. I hope that gave you a few little tips on making things look a little bit more shiny. Some I feel are rather more successful than others, but still, it's all a learning process even for me. But thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll work through some of the other ones on this page. It might not be a continuous series. I'm starting to sometimes think that it can be a little bit difficult if someone sends me a book to review and I want my series to be continuous. I can't insert that video, so it might just be, you know, there might be a few days where there isn't one, but I will work through all of the images eventually. But anyway, for now, thank you so much for watching. Have a really lovely day and happy colouring.